So, good evening, every one of you. We're done with FOMC, right? We also have some other news left. So, we have to be very careful still, right? So the reason why I'm doing this video now is to help many of you and also help myself because what the market is about to do is either we go in a bloody way or it's going to give relieve people a bit. So what do I mean by that? So let's look at what we have here. Let's look at what we have here, right? So if you look at, I'm still checking if there's news again tomorrow. That's why I'm delaying a bit. Okay, there are still news. There are still news for sure. There are still news. So let's work with what we have now. This is what happened on GBP USD. This is what happened on GBP USD. How did I catch the sell on GBP USD? Now, first thing, we're done with this, right? This swing trade. So for those asking, the confirmation, you can see the inducement and then price tapped in and then took off like this. And then there's this one again, price tapped in, took off. So we notice that price have been moving in this downtrend, right? And whenever price moving in a downtrend, there will be an order block or there will be a breaker block where price might go back and tap before continue. So what price did here was that he went to tap this order block. So anybody trying to short Bitcoin might end up blowing their account. Now that price has tapped into this order block, there's an inducement inside of it, right? So GBP USD might keep dumping to clear all of these. GBP USD might keep dumping to clear all of this liquidity, this one and this one. So because of this order block here, that's one. So what's the next direction on Europe USD? So the dump is not yet over, like as I just explained to you now. Europe USD also started rejecting from this order block here, right? It started rejecting from this other block here. So I'm going to delete this. So it's actually moving in the same part of what they call it, GBP USD. So that was my old chart here. So I'm going to delete it, right? So I don't want to open a buy position because right now it's not a good time to buy. This is the time you have to look for short. So we might be shorting Europe USD for a long time, you understand, till maybe till we get to somewhere here. The reason why I'm saying this is based on what Fed does drop about the new era, you understand. So there might be some kind of bloody move coming, you understand. So we have to be very careful. So we can see that it rejected from this other block. Also the inducement was in here, inducement was here, so price started dropping. So we might continue to see price testing some breaker block and then other block on the lower time frame to continue shorting the market to clear this, right? So that's the main thing on Europe USD and GBP USD. So that's still the move. We're still going to keep shorting until we clear all of this. So basically stop loss is like this, the entry is like this. So this is what is going to happen, right? Market will come in and clear all this move. It will come in and clear all this move. So basically, even on the smaller time frame, we'll be looking for shorts. You understand? So now we know the direction of GBP USD and Europe USD, right? I will then go to Bitcoin. I want to see what is happening on Bitcoin. It's very important we know that. So let's look at what's happening on Bitcoin today. So let me use the bigger chart. So your mentors out there, they are telling you to keep buying Bitcoin. Now you can see we had something like this inducement and price tapped into this other block and drop, right? Now we can see the same thing here again. Price is tapping into this other block and is dropping. Your mentors are telling you to still buy back. Meanwhile, confirmation is already done on the smaller time frame, on the 1 hour. Those of you who joined me in shorting, you know what I'm talking about. So if you don't know, for those of you who don't know, let me show you what I'm talking about. If you look carefully, this is just one of it on the smaller time frame. Let me show you. This is just one of it. There's one we short from here also. So your mentors are calling it equal high, but to me, that's the main confirmation that is going to lead to a long-term dump, which you are seeing. Look at, you can see it. You can see we just smashed the full target now. So price got the confirmation from here. So on the smaller time frame now, what price is going to do is that you will see price form. Since this other block is here, there will be a liquidity and then a deceiving pump, like a deceiving pump to here, forming a liquidity, and then price is going to tap in again and drop. So that's what is just going to keep happening. So this is why you have to be very careful and do not rush to buy Bitcoin, because on the daily time frame, which I showed you on Bitcoin, on the daily time frame, the price still shows that it's bearish. So you trying to buy is like you saying, I want to liquidate my account. You understand? So just be careful of buying. It's not going to favor you. So that is for Bitcoin. So if you know you're going to still be shorting, that means you'll be looking for short on Ethereum also and the crypto. So whatever Bitcoin is doing, most of the major crypto pairs will follow suit. So I don't need to go deep into that. I don't want this video to be too long. So let's look at what gold is doing quickly. I'll still go to silver. So look at what gold is doing quickly. So we have this demand, which I was expecting gold to come through, but it didn't, right? Yeah, we know that. We can see the inducement and this. So this is a very dangerous move we are buying here now, because if you look carefully, price rejected from this breaker block here. This is the breaker block that price got rejected from. Let me do it well. So this is the breaker block that price got rejected from. But to me, there was no inducement here. To me, I don't see any inducement. So this is just like price retracing to a good demand zone. That is what I am seeing. Because many people will call this an inducement, but to me, I can't call this an inducement. Let me use the body of the candle. Let me see. Okay, maybe they call this an inducement and they started shorting because they feel that what they call it, gold is on a downtrend, and they started shorting from here. But looking at what is it here, that we have this big liquidity here, so which means price may drop to come for this one. That's one. Or if price hold this, because the reason why I marked this zone was from these 4 hours, right? As you can see. So if price is able to hold here before today closes, if it's able to hold here, then we might end up closing this high, and if we clear this high, we will keep going up to the upside, showing that there has been liquidated. You understand? Showing that the sellers here have been liquidated, so we might keep going up. So otherwise, if it fails to hold there this week, if gold fails to hold this place this week, or even today or tomorrow, then it's going to keep going down to this target here, so which we have to be careful of. So that's what I want to do this video on gold. So since you know the direction on gold, let me post the direction on silver. So what's the direction on silver? The direction of silver says that if you look carefully here on silver, there is an inducement close to this POI. But this POI grab this liquidity. This is what you have to be careful of whenever you're trading in a bigger time frame. So basically, since we have this on silver, right? What next is going to happen? Since we know gold is looking like it's going to be bullish, so what we want to see, this confirmation like this, then a little bit of inducement, then price will move up a bit and then still come down to clear this inducement, then before going up. You understand? So you are going to see this on a smaller time frame, that is something like 1 hour or 45 minutes. You understand? That's where you want to see something like this. So I'm going to delete this now. So when that plays out, I'm going to come and look for entry on gold or on silver. So likewise, the same thing on gold. The same thing on gold. If you can't enter as we entered now, it will form something like that also. So inducement before price tapping into POI and then moving up. So you will see that on the smaller time frame. So the smaller time frame is going to give us the confirmation. You understand? So the reason why I'm doing this video is just to help people out there. You understand? So I told you my battery is already low. I told you after today there will be no more something like this. So I wish you guys all the best, and please be careful with your capital. Use small lot size. If you don't, I told you to reach out to me, because when I start hosting the VIP and mentorship class, I won't listen to any form of begging. I wish you guys all the best.